I'm meteorologist John Dawson. This is the Fox 26 Tropical Update just for YouTube. Glad you found us here on social media. I hope you will continue to come back here every day a little bit after 4 p.m. and even a little bit more often than that once we have an active system that might be threatening the U.S. But for now, especially now when things are quiet, we'll be here just every once a day at least around 4 p.m. with the latest happenings in the tropic. And we've got things that we've been watching in the Gulf of Mexico, which is one of those areas that we definitely monitor early in June, like what we are having right now. But this is going to be the last update from the National Hurricane Center for Arlene, because as of 4 p.m. on Saturday, that's going to be the last advisory that they issue, because it has become what we refer to as a post-tropical system. Post-tropical Arlene, because it no longer meets all of the characteristics necessary to be considered a tropical system. It's still a low pressure system, a remnant low is what we usually refer to that as, and it's still sitting out over the waters. It could still create problems for some people, but again, that tropical sense has been lost, and we'll continue to, the Hurricane Center is no longer going to continue to monitor that. So just kind of running across the board again real quick, we've talked about the fact that this is going to be the last update Saturday 4 p.m. They do have sustained winds out there in Arlene, still at around 30 miles an hour. The movement of it is to the south-southeast at around 7 miles an hour, and for those of you keeping up with the pressure, it's just a little over 1,000 millibars, 1,001 right now. So the quick history on that, you can see up in the northern portions of the Gulf is where it became strong enough to be considered a tropical depression. That was on Thursday, June 1st, first day of the hurricane season, and then meandering pretty much to the south, and now eventually getting a little bit more of an easterly movement to it. And by the time we get to Sunday morning, very early, so just hours from now, probably beginning to fall apart even more with less than 30 mile an hour winds. When we look at Sunday morning about 1 a.m., that's where we'll be seeing again about 25 mile an hour winds. So normally this would be the cone, but this is a system again that's falling apart, and the National Hurricane Center no longer going to be continuing to monitor it. So we don't see that cone shape that extends out up to 5 days. It's just going to go several hours, eventually ending early on Sunday morning. When we take a look at our winds, as I talked about, it's still a low pressure system. Those surface winds still showing that counterclockwise rotation. You can kind of pick out where it is, but notice the rain though. There's no organized rain, for sure no sort of eye or anything like that, but there is some rain that is getting generated more or less from this low pressure system. And that's disorganized and well off to the east right now. And as we get a little bit of a closer look again where that center is north of Cuba in the Gulf of Mexico, we're expecting to see it move a little bit further over to the east. So this rain that's being generated from it definitely has the possibility of impacting the state of Florida. And because of that, and some of the rains that they've already seen recently, there is a flood watch. And again, this isn't a tropical type of a watch or warning or anything like that, but it's all sort of generated, all sort of created from the same sense that that low pressure system that was a named tropical storm Arlene will have the potential to help to bring some rain for portions of Florida, and that is again one of the reasons why we continue to have this flood watch. So basically this is going all the way through Sunday, stopping at midnight Monday morning. So Sunday night is what that watch continues to move all the way through. Somewhat again generated because of the rain that could be, some of that could be helped to be created from Arlene, others not so much. The rest of the Atlantic, the outlook is very quiet. There is quite a bit of rain happening in some portions of the Caribbean, but overall nothing's organized, nothing's tropical. Remember now we're using, the Hurricane Center is issuing those outlooks for up to 7 days, and so for the next 7 days the Hurricane Center is not expecting any sort of a tropical formation to take place. And so while there certainly seems to be some rain, it's not really organized over in the Atlantic, and so that would not be a tropical situation. So seven out of the last 8 years, we've had a named storm before June 1st. Not actually doing that this year. There was technically a tropical depression earlier in the season, very early in the year. That did not reach, that was sort of detected after the fact. it did not reach strong enough to actually become a named storm. So while we started with Tropical Depression 2 that became Arlene, our next system, if it's identified as a depression, will be Tropical Depression 3. And if it continues to gain in strength, our next name on the list is going to be Brett. So already beginning to work a little bit on our names here at the beginning of the year. We know that the activity, typically, historically speaking, does not get very active really until August and into September. But we'll probably check off a few more names before we actually get into those times. We would like it to be not so many. The fewer the better, I think, is certainly the case. But remember, it doesn't matter how many you have in those outlooks that we've seen for the year. We always need to be prepared, always need to be ready for that. Part of those preparations could be the Fox 26 weather app. And you don't have to be in Houston just to take advantages of what the Fox 26 weather app can offer. Just in the bigger sense, the tropical information is going to be there, but also just in those local forecasts, you can put in a zip code or the follow me function and that works. But we're talking about tropics. That's why we're here. So you're going to be able to see all the tropical weather information. Those cones, those forecast cones will be there. I talked about that follow me feature. And anytime that they were to get some watches or warnings, any types of those watches and warnings that are tropical or non-tropical, they would also be there. That flood watch, for example, that I talked about would be accessible if you've downloaded the Fox 26 weather app. So that'll do us for today. We'll be back again, as I mentioned, tomorrow. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and again, we'll keep going all through the hurricane season. A little bit after 4 o'clock, look for the hurricane updates. Thanks for finding us, and we'll see you again tomorrow.